Driving towards a better future, my journey with an electric vehicle. Every time I drop my kid off at school and start my shift as a rideshare driver, I'm reminded of why I love this job. The flexibility lets me balance work and family life without being tied to a rigid schedule. While rideshare has its challenges, unpredictable passengers and occasional traffic frustrations, overall, it's a rewarding way to earn a living, especially for someone who enjoys driving and meeting new people. Making the switch to an electric vehicle. One of the most common questions I get from passengers is, "How's rideshare driving?" Followed closely by, "How much do you earn?" And more recently, ever since I switched to an electric vehicle, I often hear, "Is it worth driving an EV for rideshare?" The answer, in my experience, is a resounding yes, not just financially, but also in terms of comfort, convenience, and environmental impact. Over the years, I've driven petrol, diesel, and now electric cars on rideshare platforms. There's really no comparison. Unless you're driving a premium petrol car or a disability-accessible van, an electric vehicle outperforms traditional cars in almost every aspect. It's quieter, smoother, and much cheaper to operate. I drive in Southeast Australia, and one of my biggest advantages is that my home is powered by a 15-kilowatt solar system. When designing my house, I made sure it could generate enough electricity to meet my family's daily needs, including charging my EV. That decision has been a game changer for reducing expenses. The cost of charging versus fuel and maintenance. On an average day, I drive about 250 kilometers for rideshare. For an electric vehicle like mine, that translates to roughly 37 kilowatt hours of electricity per day. If I could charge purely from solar, my fuel cost would be almost zero. But since I work during the day, I usually charge at night when electricity rates are lower. In my area, I get a discounted rate of 22 cents per kilowatt hour after 9 p.m. So, for a full charge, 37 kilowatt hours times 22 cents equals $8.14 per day. That's incredibly cheap compared to petrol or diesel. A petrol or diesel car covering 250 kilometers per day can easily cost $35 to $40 in fuel. Over a month, that adds up to $700 to $1,000 in fuel expenses. In contrast, my entire electricity bill, household use and EV charging, averages around $100 per month. In winter, when solar generation drops, it can rise to $200 to $250. But even that is far lower than running a traditional car. Maintenance costs are also lower. Servicing my EV costs about $220 every 10,000 kilometers. There's no engine oil to change and far fewer moving parts to maintain. One area where EVs cost slightly more is tires. Because EVs are heavier, tires wear out faster. Mine last about 60,000 kilometers compared to 80,000 kilometers on a petrol car. It's not a big expense, but worth noting for long-term budgeting. Where EVs truly win is brake pads. I have 165,000 kilometers on the clock and haven't changed them once. Regenerative braking converts kinetic energy back into electricity, reducing wear and saving hundreds in maintenance. The initial investment and payback. Switching to an EV isn't just plug and play, there are initial costs. Installing a semi-commercial charger at home runs $1,500 to $2,500. Fuel savings alone cover that in about 4 months. Adding solar amplifies the benefit. A 5 to 15 kilowatt system costs $5,000 to $12,000, and with combined savings on household electricity and EV charging, it typically pays for itself in 4 to 6 years. Beyond cost savings, comfort, and smooth ride, EVs are almost silent with a noticeably smoother drive. Environmental impact. Driving electric slashes my carbon footprint, and as Australia's grid gets cleaner, that benefit only grows. Less maintenance, no oil changes, fewer moving parts, and fewer mechanic visits. Passenger reactions, a conversation starter. One unexpected perk of driving an EV is passenger curiosity. Many riders, especially those thinking about buying one, ask about charging times, costs, and the driving feel. It sparks genuine conversations and helps clear up myths, like range anxiety, which has never been a problem with proper planning. Final thoughts. Is an EV worth it for rideshare? For me, Switching to an electric vehicle was one of the best decisions I've made. I save hundreds of dollars each month, enjoy a quieter, smoother ride, and feel good knowing I'm contributing to a cleaner future. Yes, the initial investment, car, charger, and maybe solar, takes thought, but the long-term benefits easily outweigh the upfront cost. With job flexibility, solar savings, and low maintenance, I know I made the right choice. So when people ask, is it worth it? My answer is simple. Absolutely.